Hello.
Hello.
Hello, guys. How are
How are
you?
you guys doing?
We're doing good.
Yeah,
It's been
I'm
so
doing
long.
It's been so long, guys, but welcome to Approaching Your Future. Welcome, everybody. This is your host, Dana and Victor, and we have our special guest here, Igrim. And today we're going to be discussing a really cool topic. It's celebrations around the world, the holiday season. Um, but let's first talk a bit about Igrim. Igrim, you've been part of one of our podcasts already. How do you feel being here?
it's awesome to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. I would love to share my experience on Celebration New Year, how we celebrate in my country. So I would love to share about that.
That's really
Yes,
cool.
we're super excited to hear,
Yeah.
and I think that this season is such a great season for us to commemorate and come together and genuinely talk about the different celebrations that we have in different religions and cultures. And so I'm really excited to hear about everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too. Even more because I guess like I need to point that out that we have three different nationalities here, right? I agree. You can tell.
I'm Kazakh. I'm from Kazakhstan originally.
Yes. Yeah, I'm from Brazil and
Uh-huh.
Dana.
I'm from Chile and Brazil, but Chile.
Yeah. Dana is a citizen of the world mainly.
Yeah.
We have a diverse
True.
community here.
Yeah. But
So
that's really
you have all of the cultures in here.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's start with the most well-known celebration of this time, which is Christmas. Right, guys?
yeah. I mean that's the theme right now, right?
That
We're looking very festive right now.
we're look That's true. We're looking super festive. So, how do you guys celebrate Christmas back home? What are your traditions like?
I think that Christmas it's more religious celebration, right? For
Yeah.
the New Year.
Yes,
Yeah,
Christmas is a Catholic a Christian
yeah,
celebration.
mhm.
Maybe we can talk a bit more about that because not only are we all different cultures, but we all have ethnically different religions. So even if we're not, some of us might not be practicing our religions, we're all come from different religious families. So this conversation is going to be really interesting. So V, why don't you tell us a bit more about Christmas and in the Christian and Catholic side? What do you know of it, or like how do you celebrate it back home with your mom?
Okay, so I'll talk a little bit about it. I was baptized in the Catholic Church, but like I was never very involved in the religion itself. I've always liked to get to know different religions, but if there's something that I know about Christmas in Brazil more specifically is that like it's huge in a Catholic community, right? Like people that are Catholic, they celebrate that very religiously, and that celebrates the birth of Jesus, right? Um, and what's really interesting is that a lot of the symbols of Christmas, starting from the stars that like we see a lot in decorations, the Christmas tree, Santa Claus, like it's a mixture of a religion, but also a mixture of like different aspects of different cultures, you know. So that's kind of what I know. I would definitely love to be more educated on like the real meaning of Christmas. Or to know what Christmas is all about, like Charlie Brown once said. And but yeah, that's kind of what I know. I know that like in Brazil, when it's Christmas, we usually get the whole family together. We eat a lot together too. There are a lot of different types of dishes. We eat a lot of rice with there are like potato salads. We eat turkey, and it's kind of like very much like here, but we don't have snow where I come from in Brazil, and it's very for me it's kind of like the same. It's very comparable, you know. But that's kind of what I know. I wonder how it is in Kazakhstan.
Yeah, we usually actually don't celebrate Christmas. We more celebrate New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, which is on 31st of December. So every time we just gather with our family on the New Year's Eve, we cook together. We have like celebration with our traditional food, and we wait until 12 a.m. To listen our president talk. Yeah, and then we just start celebrating, and that's all about the new year.
You just
For the Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry for cutting you off,
Yeah,
Igor. That's so not polite of me. But when you said that you guys wait to hear your president talk, can you elaborate a little bit more? Because like I just remembered something about Christmas in Brazil.
uh-huh.
We wait for the mass, the rooster of the mass rooster. It's like this mass that happens in the Vatican. And we usually watch it on Christmas night, which is like very Catholic. And I don't know why I didn't mention that, but can you elaborate on like what
Mhm.
does the president usually what are the topics that
So,
he talks about?
yeah, the topic is just wishing us really good year, and he talks about the previous year, what we've done, what we have achieved, and what our goals for the next year, and he just wishes us good health, prosperity, and everything. So it's the same almost every year, just changing the background. But other than that, it's all the same. But I don't know. I think it's more kind of a tradition just to wait his speech and then start celebrating. We don't celebrate before 12 a.m. We wait until that time.
Wow,
And
that's really
Interesting.
cool. That's really
yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
but I want to share actually. I'm sorry. Did I cut you
No,
off?
no,
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 no.
no, please
So
share.
I'm Muslim, but I don't kind of strictly follow all the religion rules. But in Kazakhstan, it's really common to have. We actually celebrate our New Year, like Kazakh New Year, in March. So I think that's the most interesting thing.
What?
Wow. Why?
Really?
You know
How
why?
so?
Because it's March 21st, 2 days, and March 22nd. So that's actually the day when the day and night equals. Yeah,
Wow.
and that's why we celebrate our Kazakh New Year in March. And it's usually common for all the Central Asian countries, which is Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, like all the countries in Central Asia. And we don't have Christmas, but we celebrate our New Year. It's named Nowruz in March.
That's so
Wow.
cool.
So
That's
it's
so
Mind
kind of
blown.
interesting.
replacing the Christmas time, like because on Christmas we usually, I think, 2 or 3 days have holidays here in America, right? In the US.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those holidays for us go to March month.
Wow,
Yeah,
That's
that's
so
pretty super
interesting.
yeah,
interesting.
I
Yeah.
never imagined that actually because I do know that like in China they have the Chinese New Year, right?
yeah,
And it's also celebrating a different date here in like in the United States at
yeah.
least, and you
So
know there
that's the
too.
same kind of traditional Kazakh tradition, Central Asian traditions, I would say.
Hmm.
But of course, we have a lot of people who are celebrating Christmas in Kazakhstan as well. But it
Hmm.
just depends on your religion, I think. But the
Yeah,
common and like um, nationwide holiday for the New Year is New Year's Eve and in March, Nowruz Day.
that's really
That's
cool.
so interesting. I was thinking because like I think Judaism also has like a different New Year. My New Year, like Jewish New Year is in September. It's called Rosh
Mm.
Hashanah, and it
Oh,
actually happens like it happened here like a couple months ago, and I took some time off because it's very important for Judaism. Rosh Hashanah, like the New Year, and then right after, like a week after, it's Yom Kippur, which is the most important like Jewish holiday. And basically, this holiday, what it entails is that it's the day of forgiveness, and you ask everyone and all
mm.
of your family members and all of your friends to forgive them for forgiveness if for anything bad that you've done that year, anything that you've done wrong, and then you don't eat for one day for 25 hours. You don't eat nor drink.
Oh,
I so
wow.
like I fasted for 25 hours, and that's your way of like sacrificing yourself to God. And then after that you have like a huge meal with everything. And so I thought it was interesting because it's very similar. I think that many cultures have different New Years, so that's really
Yeah.
cool to know.
Yeah,
No, it's
definitely.
interesting. And I agree, like in your culture, is there any similarity like with Donna's culture in terms of like do you guys also do fasting at
Mhm.
any point? Like,
We
how is
do
it?
fasting, but it's usually not during the New Year, not during the now rest time. But we do fasting as well. Yeah, I think our cultures, there are some similarities, but I don't know how close are
It's
they.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the is it called Ramadan?
Yeah,
The
Ramadan.
right?
Yeah. There are,
Yeah, no,
every time there are like different time for that. And I think last year it was during the summer. Yeah.
yeah, so like I think it's a similar concept because from what I understood, I'm not sure if I'm correct. You can correct me, but Ramadan works like you fast, you eat when the sun is down, and
Yes.
then during the sun is up, you fast, and then when it comes down, you can eat again, right?
That's absolutely correct, actually. Yeah,
Because
Nice.
I couldn't explain that because I don't usually fast, because I don't really like follow all the rules. But yeah, that's the thing that you just told.
that so
That's
like
so
because
cool.
it's super similar because for us it's the same thing. Like we need to eat until the sun comes down,
Hmm.
and then when it's sunset, we have to stop eating. Like everything is based on sun basically. So it's
Yeah.
interesting.
I know
Um,
that in Brazil, like we don't necessarily fast, but like when it's Easter, we choose a few of our favorite foods that we choose not to eat.
Oh wow.
Um,
right, right,
right?
right. I've heard that.
And I forgot the name in English.
It's called oh, I forgot the name as well. When you
It's
don't
fasting,
eat.
I think, as well, right?
Yeah.
But it's not. There's a word. You is it called like your sacrifice? It's not called your sacrifice. Your Lent. Lent.
Yeah.
Mm.
Lent.
In
You
Brazil, we
choose
call
something for
it.
Lent.
I think in Brazil we call it Quaresma. It's something
Uh
like
huh.
this.
Oh.
Cuaresma. In Spanish, it's Cuaresma as well.
Yeah.
Um. So yeah, that's super interesting, V, because so like let's go back to Christmas for a second and just to explain what Christmas is.
Yeah.
It's the birth.
We,
It's the birth of.
we ended up going way past Christmas by accident. I'm sorry, guys.
No, please, we all did. But for our viewers that are not necessarily acquainted with what Christmas is as a holiday, it's the celebration of Jesus Christ's birth. Actually, this is a fun fact. It's not a fun fact. It's pretty well known, actually. But the reason why it's called Christmas is because it's Christ's Mass, like a Mass, you know?
Mm.
So that's why it's called Christmas. And yeah, I don't have any more
Yeah.
information about
No,
Christmas.
that actually explains the mass that I told you guys about in Brazil, right? That we
Uh-huh.
watch on Christmas. Yeah. So
Ah,
we call
yeah.
it Missa do Galo, which is like kind of like midnight mass. And it's basically celebrated at midnight. And I remember when I was a kid in Brazil, my whole family would watch that. And I don't know if it was before or after that. There's this famous singer in Brazil called Roberto Carlos, and he usually has a big show on TV that people also connect. So it's a tradition, but it's more cultural. It's less related to religion, but it's also very
Yeah.
funny because you have the mass, you watch the mass, and then you celebrate watching the show by the king. They call him the king,
The king.
and it's really
That's
interesting. My mom loves it.
yeah.
You know what else? You know what else is interesting in Brazil? Which is I've never found this tradition anywhere else but in Brazil, and my family follows it to the T. Which is on New Year's you need to wear white.
Oh
Yes.
wow.
Yeah.
I've never
Yeah.
seen that anywhere else, but I will never go to New Year's without wearing white.
Why is that?
Well, they say that it brings good luck, brings peace,
Mm.
health. I know that if you dress red, it means that you want money in the upcoming year.
Ah.
So they kind of like assimilate different colors with different things that you want in your life. There's another tradition for New Year's that you jump the first wave of the year with
Mm.
one leg. I think like you kind of like hop on
Oh.
one leg and you jump the wave in the beach on the beach, and that's also very it's interesting, but a lot of people do that when they're drunk after they celebrate or
Mm-hmm.
so
Because
usually when you go to Brazil, a lot of people like to celebrate New Year's in the beach.
Yeah.
because
Do you
that
have
is
like
true. No, yeah, ask, don't worry.
do you have like Christmas trees during that time?
Yeah, we don't have real Christmas trees like they
But
have
they all
here.
decorated.
Yeah,
They're
ours
fake,
in
yeah.
Brazil are much more like they're fake, but they look really pretty. But they're
They
fake.
look gorgeous. And also it's like because talking about the beaches, Igor, you should definitely like one of your New Year's needs to be spent in Rio because like Rio for New Year's, it's like New York here, basically. It's like
Oh,
Yeah.
New York for New Year's here is the same thing as Rio for New Year's in Brazil. So like I just like you look out on the beach. Usually like the beach is right in front of you in Rio, if you're going to like Copacabana or Ipanema, for example, and
mhm.
it's filled with, it's like millions and millions and millions of people outside, and everyone is wearing white. So it's like beautiful. It's a really
Wow.
cool thing to do during New Year's to go to Rio.
Mm.
But yeah, I wanted to bring awareness to a couple of like other celebrations happening around the world. For example, the African Americans celebrate Kwanzaa. Have you guys heard about Kwanzaa?
No, actually, I didn't.
I've heard about it, but I've always been curious to know more about it.
Yeah, so Kwanzaa is like it's like a celebration that celebrates like different it's like a harvest celebration per se, kind of like a Thanksgiving, you know. And it comes from African culture, and it happens on the 26th of December, I think. It's the 26th to the 1st of December of January, something along those lines. I'm gonna confirm it right now. But you know, like we all have many different. Even
Yeah.
this celebration, Kwanzaa, actually was brought to the U.S. It actually is a celebration that is celebrated here in the U.S. by African Americans, and it's super interesting. You know, like we don't
Yeah.
really like notice a lot of celebrations happening.
Yeah.
And on that note, apart from so Kwanzaa happens December 26th to January 1st. Okay.
Okay.
And same thing, you also like give gifts and things like that. And I'm actually seeing their lights, they have like, I'll share my screen to show you guys. They light some candles, and these candles are very similar to the celebration that's happening in Judaism right now, which is Hanukkah.
Mm.
And so I think that's super
Yeah.
interesting.
They use the 4 candles, right? Like kind of pointing up. I forgot the name of the object.
I'm gonna right now.
But
I'm gonna show you right now, like how it looks. But the object that the candles that they use, you mean Kwanzaa or Hanukkah?
both Kwanzaa and Hanukkah, they're kind of like similar because the candles are pointing up, like 4 candles, I think, right?
Yes. So basically, it's not 4 candles. Kwanzaa, as you see here, they have
Oh, yeah.
7 candles. Judaism, they use a menorah. It's called menorah or Hanukkah.
Oh, okay.
And it has 9 candles, and I'm gonna explain why. So basically, I can show you guys here a bit of the story that I was reading, because I know the story like by memory, just because of growing up, kind of, but I don't know it perfectly. But the idea of Hanukkah, which is happening right now, it started the 29th. It lasts 8 days. The reason why we have 9 candles on the Hanukkah, on the menorah, it's because this years ago, there were some invaders, I forget where they're from, but there are some invaders into Jerusalem, and they invaded this temple, one of our temples that was from the Maccabees, which the Maccabees are like a tribe of the Jews. And they invaded this temple and destroyed everything. And they took away all of our oil, okay? That's the story. And then after everything is destroyed, the Maccabees come back into the temple, into the sacred temple, and all of our traditions, all of our holidays are based on light. We light candles every Friday for Shabbat. Everything is based on light. So they're like, oh my God, how are we gonna light the candles? And they find one little bottle of oil that is meant to last for 1 day. And that bottle of oil, according to the story, lasts 8 days, which is a miracle. And it lasts 8 days, enough for them to get new oil by the 8th day. And so the reason why there's 9 sticks, it's because you light the first candle, and with that candle, you have to light every candle for 8 days, right? And it's a really pretty holiday because it talks about miracles and about like the strength of the Jewish people, and how like, you know, we can be protected, and miracles happen, and like we need to be thankful for them and thankful for the light. And so that is the idea of Hanukkah, and it's
Wow.
interesting because Kwanzaa has a similar idea with their candles.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think like you've been pretty knowledgeable in that. Like, you learned
Yeah.
with your family, like, or did you have to study at any point? Is it something that like, because I remember when I was living in Brazil, every time I would go to the Catholic church with my family, that was like the this like little morning school for kids that they teach religion. Was that's how you learn, or your parents taught you all that?
So there's like same thing. There's like a similar thing in the synagogue. When you go to the synagogue on Fridays, there's also like a children's place, and there's also like growing up. When I lived in Chile growing up, I would have Judaism class. Like while everyone had Christian class, I had Judaism class. It was one of my classes like in my school.
That's so
But
cool.
yeah, it was pretty cool. But I did end up learning most of it from my family. Like I learned a bit in Judaism class, but then as we moved away from Chile and moved to different countries, unfortunately, you come into contact with different levels of religion, for example. So it means that maybe like my family wasn't able to get as involved in other countries with our synagogues. So the way we would learn is we had actually like private teachers. So like in Judaism, kind of like first communion for a Christian, we do like a thing called bat mitzvah when we're 13 years old, women, and 13 for men and 12 for women. And I had to study through Zoom. Basically, I studied through Zoom, like the
Wow.
scriptures and all of the stories. It was all kind of learned by family, and most of Jewish traditions have been passed on through mouth and orally, you know, like by talking. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
That's really
actually
cool.
great because in this way you kind of keep all the religion knowledge, you know, passing this through your children
Yeah,
and schools. That's cool.
that's
I
very
actually
no. That's a
heard,
good point.
yeah, I heard
Sorry, I cut
about
you off.
this story about Hanukkah from Friends TV show, you know, when Ross tells about the Hanukkah.
Yes, that's, oh my God, I love that. That's
I
so
was like,
cute.
it's the same one that he told.
Yes,
That's so-
yeah, that's so, it's funny because like we all kind of like know the same story, you know?
yeah,
And it's, they're all like, even if it's a bit different, it's all the same
yeah, all
story.
the
It's,
same. Dana, I
yeah.
actually wanted to ask, in Chile, do you celebrate Christmas?
In Chile, yes. So like all of the Latin American countries tend to be super Christian, towards Christianism more than anything. So yes, Chile, we did celebrate Christmas, and I do celebrate Christmas because my mom is Catholic. So
Mm,
I don't celebrate it like religiously through the religious part, but I like to be with her
yeah.
and like, you know, just be, so we do put up a tree and we get the gifts, and we are with her while she celebrates her religion. And Chile does that as well. Like all the countries I've lived in have been mostly Catholic.
Yeah, I see.
Oh, that's nice.
For me, the same, even though I don't, I'm not Christian, but living in the US, I will be celebrating Christmas as well. So I
Yeah.
will be
That's
doing
nice. Yeah.
like evening meal and Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
You bought a
Yes.
Christmas tree?
Like
Yeah, I will do actually this week. Yeah.
Nice.
that is so cute. You gotta show us pictures. And
Yeah, of
talking about that,
course.
if you're one of our students and you're watching this podcast, make sure to get into the Christmas tree decoration contest, guys, because you can gain cool, really cool gift cards. And the only thing you need to do is submit a picture of your Christmas tree. So definitely go
Yeah.
do that. Check your email and do that.
Yeah, that's so cool.
But yeah, and I agree. We should all definitely go out like for a Christmas drink, the three of
Yeah.
us someday, because I also love Christmas. I love Christmas time. It
Yeah.
makes me feel
Wine.
so happy.
Me too. I last year I went to New York. I think if you want to feel the Christmas, You need to go to New York.
Yes,
It's very
you're
true.
totally
There's
right.
a Rockefeller
You're totally
Center,
right.
like they have like a
Yeah,
really huge, beautiful tree every year. I've
yeah.
been a few times.
I
Definitely worth
always
visiting.
like get so excited about the Christmas, even though I'm not like into the Christian religion. But I think if you live somewhere in a country that they celebrate some kind of like event, you need to follow that as well, in respect to
Exactly.
that country. So yeah.
It's
I
very true.
agree. I agree completely. But yeah, no, guys, thank you so much for being here. Like, this was such a cool podcast. We had such a interesting topic to talk about, and it was a pleasure to discuss this with you guys. So
Yeah,
thank you
thank
both
you.
for joining.
Thank you.
And
No, thank you.
Yeah.
thank you, guys. And I think that's it for today, guys. Thank you for tuning into Approaching Your Future with your hosts, Dana and Victor, where we discuss different cultural aspects of life in the United States. We'll be back next Friday at 2 p.m. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn notifications on. And make sure to follow us on Instagram at approach_USA to keep up with the latest updates. We are taking out communications on pre-enrollment. We're talking about a lot of different things on our Instagram and social media. So make sure to check it out, guys. It's super important. And without further ado, thank you so much, Igreen, for joining us. This was a great podcast.
Thank you guys for inviting. That was awesome.
No, thank
Thank
you,
you.
Irene. Thank you all for sharing so much about your cultures. It's been truly, really interesting, and
Yeah,
I
for
can't wait
me
to
it
learn
was
more about
actually also insightful to learn
it.
about
Yeah,
your culture and
it was
Dana's
really
too.
cool.
So yeah,
Me too. Same here. I genuinely
thank you.
thank you so much. It was a pleasure, guys.
Yep.
Yeah,
Thank you,
very
guys.
nice.
Have a great one, and I'll see everyone. I'll see everyone digitally next Friday again.
Yeah. See you
Can't
guys.
See
wait.
you guys. Until next
See
Friday.
you. Bye bye.